is Rosa and this is another Vinyasa class, and the theme this time is trust. So please do what you can, listen to yourself, focus on your own practice and enjoy. So let's get seated into Sukhasana, easy pose. You can sit cross-legged, or if you prefer you can sit onto your heels. Maybe you like to sit up on a block to relax your legs more and to sit more upright. You can close your eyes and arrive on the mat. Feel where your body is touching the mat, at the feet, the legs, the sitting bones. And then very lightly engage the pelvic floor muscles. Very light. You bring your lower belly in and up. And you follow your spine with your mind. So you start at the tailbone, which is the lower part of the spine. And you go up, you see the natural curve in your lower back. Going up to the back. Seeing the curve at the neck, and notice that the neck is also part of the spine. And you can bring your shoulders up and down the back. Relax them there. Relax the arms, the hands, the fingers. The chin is slightly in. And the crown of the head is reaching towards the sky. So, like I said, the theme of this practice is trust. To know and trust that you are the only one who knows what's best for you. That you can distinguish between what's important and what can be forgotten right now, in the present moment. You are on the right track, and relax. Trust that everything will work out if you do it with a smile, focus, and no regrets. We'll start the Ujjayi breath, and I will explain something about it, and then we'll try it together. So the Ujjayi breath heats the body, increases the lung capacity, and brings you in the present moment. With every inhale, you feel air coming through the nose, through the back of the throat, and into your lungs. Your ribcage expands at the front, the sides, and the back. And with every exhale, you feel warm air coming from your lungs through the back of the throat, out your nose. And with this in and exhalations, the air stays in the lungs. So it doesn't go to the belly, it goes to the lungs and then goes out again. And maybe this Ujjayi breath will make a sound, maybe not. Depends on the person. And some refer to it as the sound of the ocean. Now we'll try together and we'll make the in and exhales equal to each other. And I will count to 4 with each inhale and each exhale. So first exhale fully out through the nose. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, ribcage expands. 3, 4. Exhale, warm air out. 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Now try this on your own. Bring your hands in front of your heart into a prayer position, Anjali Mudra, and set your own intention for this practice. And know that whenever you need to breathe out through the mouth, you can always do so. Whenever you need to let go of something heavy, it's sometimes nice to breathe out through the mouth like a sigh. Otherwise, just try to continue this Ujjayi breath through the nose, the back of the throat and the lungs. Then you can open your eyes if you like and bring your hands in front of you on the mat and come to a tabletop position. If you have any socks on, please take them off. Wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Then with an inhale, you bring the tailbone up, belly goes down, look up. Exhale, tailbone down, round the spine, look in. Inhale, tailbone up, belly down, look up. Exhale, tailbone down, round the spine, look in. Inhale, tailbone up, cow pose. Exhale, round, cat pose. Last time, inhale, tailbone up, look up. Exhale, tailbone down, look in. That's inhale, come to a neutral spine and neutral position for the spine. So in tabletop, and bring your knees as wide as the mat. The big toes are touching in the middle of the mat. And bring your hips towards your heels. Arms reach out in front of you. Bring the fingers spread wide and bring your forehead onto the mat. Child's pose, Balasana. Always coming here at the beginning of the practice to let you know that you can always come back to this pose whenever you feel tired or lost during the practice. And please listen to yourself and don't wait for my command to come here. Like I've said, you know, you are the only one who knows what's best for you. Come to your hands and knees again. Make sure your knees are underneath your hips again. Shoulders above the wrists. Your feet are also as wide as the hips. Then tuck your toes under. Press the ball of the feet. So that's the palm underneath your toes. Into the mat and press into a downward facing dog. First downward facing dog of the practice. Maybe you need to pedal your feet out. Shake your head loose. Do whatever feels good. And bend your knees, look to the front of the mat, and you can walk your hands towards your feet towards your hands. And your feet are hip distance apart. Grab the opposite elbow into a ragdoll pose. Feet are grounded, sitting bones reaching up. Maybe you need to bend your knees to keep the spine long. Maybe you like to sway side to side. Let go of the elbows. Choose if you prefer to keep your feet hip distance apart, or you bring your big toes to touch your heels slightly apart. With an inhale, plant the feet, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands in front of your heart. Samastiti mountain pose. Check your posture. Feet are planted into the mat. Maybe you lift up your toes to see if the four corners of the feet are grounded into the mat. You feel if you are stable. Legs are strong. Your thighs are engaged. Your tailbone is under. Lower belly in and up. Relax the shoulders. Chin slightly in and the crown of the head is reaching towards the sky. Smile. And then with an inhale, you raise the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, plant the palm and bring your right foot back and then your left foot back into a plank pose. Heels are reaching backwards. Crown of the head is reaching forward. Wrists are underneath the shoulders. And of course you are using your belly muscles. And bring your knees down. Exhale, come all the way down. Inhale, come a little bit up with your chest. Roll the shoulders back. Exhale, tuck the toes under. Downward facing dog. So spread the fingers wide. Your whole hands are into the mat. Arms are straight. But don't overstretch those elbows. You're also using the upper arms. Neck is relaxed. Bend the knees, look to the front of the mat, and this time choose if you want to walk or maybe lightly jump towards your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands in front of your heart. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, bring your left foot back and then your right foot back into a plank pose. This time we keep the knees up, and with an exhale we're coming all the way down onto your belly. Make sure your elbows are really close to the ribs. Inhale, come up a little bit higher into a high cobra. So maybe your belly is also off of the mat right now. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lower belly is in and up. The tailbone is reaching up and back. And the heels are reaching towards the mat. They don't have to touch. You can also bend your knees as long as you feel a nice stretch in the back of the legs. Don't forget to breathe. Then And bend your knees, look to the front of the mat and step or jump. Towards your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, bring your hands in front of your heart, Samastiti. Again, inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, bring your right foot back and then your left foot back into the plank position. This time we keep the knees up. And with an exhale, we're going halfway down into a chaturanga. Inhale, roll over the toes. Keep the knees up. Upward facing dog. Exhale. Downward facing dog. So next time you choose to bring the knees onto the mat, keep them up. Come all the way or halfway down. And if you go into a cobra or upward facing dog, depends on your energy level, and that can be different every time. So listen carefully to yourself. Then bend the knees, look to the front of the mat and either jump or step your hands forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, plant the feet, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands in front of your heart. Last time, inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, bring your left foot back and then your right foot back into a plank position. Inhale and plank. Your choice. Exhale all the way halfway down. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe. So with your next inhale, you bring your right leg up. Exhale, plant your right foot next to your right thumb. If you need more steps to get there, please do so. Then bring your left foot in a 45-degree angle so the toes are pointing diagonally on the mat. Inhale, reach the arms up into warrior one. If you find this hard, warrior one, you can maybe step your feet closer together or more wide apart. Whatever feels good. If it's really impossible, bring your left heel up. Make sure the left outer edge of your left foot is also planted into the mat. Upper body is facing the front of the mat. Relax the shoulders. Look at a focus point. Last inhale. And with an exhale, come into warrior two. This time your left foot is in a 90-degree angle. So the toes are pointing to the long side of the mat. Right knee stays the same over the ankle. Arms horizontal. You look over your right fingertips. Again, look at that focus point. Bring the right palm up. With an inhale, you reach the right arm back overhead. Make sure you don't collapse like this, but keep your heart open. You also don't lean on your left leg, but still using that core to keep yourself up. Look up or down, whatever feels good onto your neck. Last inhale. And with an exhale, you bring your right underarm on your right upper thigh. You bring your left arm forward. And then up next to your left ear. Reaching the fingertips. Planting the left foot. Take that energy out and then the energy the other side out from your left fingertips. If you want to go further, you can place your hand on the mat or onto a block. I'll stay here. Again, look up or down, whatever feels good onto your neck. Exhale. And with an inhale, you come into a warrior two again. This time you bring your left palm, left hand on your left hip. Going into a half moon. So you bring your right hand in front of you, maybe onto a block. And it can be very, I think most of us actually need a block because most of us have longer legs than we have arms or torsos. So please take a block or a book, whatever is steady to get you into half moon. So half moon, place your hands onto that block or onto the mat. Left leg reaches up, spread, flex the left foot, toes pointing to the long side of the mat, sole reaching backwards. Both legs are super strong. If you feel stable, you can bring your left arm up, spread the fingers wide. Make sure it's on top of the right one. If you still feel stable, you can maybe look up. Don't forget to breathe. To come out, bend your right knee and come into a warrior two. Exhale, windmill the arms, plant the hands and come into a plank pose. Inhale and plank. Exhale, your choice, Vinyasa, or come straight to downward facing dog. For Vinyasa, exhale, all the way or halfway down. Inhale, go down, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Going straight to the other side. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, left foot next to your left thumb. Bring your right foot in a 45-degree angle. Inhale, reach the arms up, warrior one. Again, make sure those legs are strong and stable. Relax the shoulders, relax the face. Last inhale. And with an exhale, come into a warrior two. Back foot in a 90-degree angle. The heels are in one line. Arms are horizontal on top of those heels, parallel to those heels. Look over your left fingertips, tailbone under, relax the shoulders. Breathe. Bring your left palm up. With an inhale, you reach the arm back. Look up or down, whatever feels good onto your neck. Last inhale. And with an exhale, you bring your left underarm on your left upper thigh. Right arm reaches forward and up. Long line of energy from your right foot to your right fingertips. Right outer edge of your right foot also planted into the mat. Make sure you open up. exhale. And with an inhale, come into a warrior two again. Right hand onto your right hip. Place that block if you need it. And come forward. Bring your left hand onto the mat or onto the block. Right foot comes off of the mat. Both legs are straight. Right heel, the sole of the right foot reaches backwards. If you feel stable, you can reach the right arm up. Spread the fingers wide. If you still feel stable, you can look up. To come out, bend the left knee. Lightly step into a warrior two. Windmill the arms forward. Come into a plank pose. Your choice, vinyasa or downward facing dog. Exhale down. Inhale up. And exhale. Downward facing dog. Bring your knees onto the mat. Big toes touching in the middle of the mat, and bring your heels towards your hips towards your heels. Forehead onto the mat, child's pose. And acknowledge what you're capable of. Trust in your mental strength as well. Also when you fall, even when you fall, it is the mental strength that always keeps you going. You fall and you get back up, you try again, maybe the next time. Trust in that mental strength that it will get you there, wherever you want to be, or it's already there. Trust that it's already there. Come to your hands and knees. Wrist underneath the shoulders. Knees underneath the hips, and your feet are again as wide as your hips. Tuck the toes under and press yourself into a downward facing dog again. Find stillness. Spread the fingers wide and roll over your toes, and we're coming into a plank pose. Bring your big toes to touch in the middle of the mat. With an inhale, we roll to the right side of the right foot. Left arm goes up. Side plank, Vashisthasana. If this is hard, you can always bring your right knee onto the mat. If you have any pain in the wrist, you can bring your right forearm onto the mat. Spread the left fingers wide. Bring the hip up. Last inhale. And with an exhale, bring your left palm down. Inhale, roll over to the other side. Right arm up. Spread the fingers wide. If you need to regress it, bring your left knee down. Or bring your left forearm down. Look forward, straight ahead. Last inhale. And with an exhale, look down, plant your palms. Bring your feet wider again. And then come into a downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look to the front of the mat, and we're going to a seated position so you can walk forward to your hands and then cross your ankles. Or you can jump, cross your ankles, and then sit onto your sitting bones. If you need another way to sit down, just do so. So legs are out in front of you. Lean a little bit back. Use that core. Lower body in and up. Bring your knees up. Hands underneath the knees. Boat pose Navasana. Roll the shoulders back. Chest is open. If you want to go further, you can reach your arms out. If you still want to go further, you can maybe straighten the legs. Not for me today. Open up. Last inhale. With an exhale, you cross the ankles again. Plant the feet. Bring your palms in front of you onto the mat. If you have to go another way, it's totally fine. And then you can choose if you step into a plank pose or maybe you jump into chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. So really make sure if you jump into chaturanga, you land with the elbows bent. Really important. This time we are walking our feet towards the hands. I think maybe like one hand in between the hands and the feet. But the hands are underneath the shoulders. The wrists are underneath the shoulders. Your big toes are touching in the middle of the mat, with the heels slightly apart. And maybe your heels are up, mine are. Then the first option is to stay here. The second option is to keep the arms straight. Bring the knees to the side, bend the knees more. Maybe like this you see it better. You bring your knees to the side. Then the third option is to also bend the elbows. Bring the knees up. High, 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 up to the armpits, as high as possible on the upper arms. And then the fourth option is to lean onto those arms and bring one toe up, maybe 2 feet, into Bakasana crowd pose. Take your time to try anything that you think you can do. Trust in your own knowledge. Look at one point on the ground. Then again, to come out, you can choose to step into a plank pose, do your vinyasa, or maybe if you're in crowd, you jump into chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. So have fun with it and be happy with where you're at. Maybe shake the head loose. Still breathing the Ujjayi breath. With your next inhale, you bring the right leg up. And with an exhale, you bring your right knee underneath your right wrist. Your right foot underneath your left wrist. Left knee onto the mat. Left foot flat onto the mat. Look over your left shoulder to check if your left leg is in line with the left hip. I am so sorry. I think we're gonna go into a bridge first. So bring your left leg in front of you. Come seated at the front of the mat. Reach the arms out in front of you. With an exhale, you're coming all the way down. Make sure you use your core to come all the way down. onto your back. Bring your feet in. Make sure you can touch the heels with your fingertips. So your heels are underneath your knees, and it's the recommendation to rather bring your fingertips towards your heels than bring your heels more up. So try that. Knees are as wide as your hips. Make sure they stay there all the time, even when you go up. And you can try that, you can keep that by using your upper legs as well. So with your next inhale, you bring your heels, your hips up. Knees stay in line with the hips. If you can bring your shoulders under and then interlace your fingers. Press the feet into the mat. Press the arms into the mat. Hips up. Make sure those knees are staying in line with the hips. Use that core and breathe. Use those legs. Last inhale, maybe a little higher. And with an exhale, you let go of your fingers. Roll the shoulders back and come lying onto your back. Knees stay bent, stay here. After that back bend, we need to give the spine some rest and just stay in a neutral position for the spine. So, if wheel is part of your practice, you can join. Otherwise, go into a bridge pose again. Again, make sure your fingertips can touch the heels. Knees are hip distance apart. Bring your hands next to your ears with the fingertips facing down, palms into the mat. And then with an inhale, you're coming right away up. Wheel pose. Make sure those hands are planted into the mat. The feet are planted into the mat. Knees are still hip distance apart. Maybe you can straighten your arms. Breathe. Feel an openness in your body. If you go out, make sure the back of the head is landing first, and then the rest of it will follow. Bring your feet as wide as the mat. Knees are falling into each other in the middle of the mat. Hands can rest anywhere. Maybe alongside the body, maybe on your belly, on your heart. Walk your feet in again. Plant your feet, bring your hips up and bring your hips a little bit to the left. And bring your hips down again. Bring your knees into the chest. Spread the arms wide into a T shape. Or if you prefer, you can bend the elbows into a cactus shape. And then with an exhale, you bring your knees to the right. If it feels good, you can look over your left shoulder. Make sure both shoulders are planted into the mat, grounded into the mat. If if this is not the case, please put something underneath your knees. Still an active pose, breathe deeply, lower belly in and up. With your next inhale, you bring your head to the center and bring your knees to the center. Plant the feet, bring your hips up and bring them a little bit to the right. Bring your knees into the chest again. With an exhale, you bring your legs to the left, your knees to the left. If it feels good, you look over your right shoulder. Shoulders are grounded into the mat. This is not the case, you can bring something underneath your knees. Next inhale, you bring your head to the center. Bring your knees to the center. Plant your feet and bring your hips to the center. And bring your knees into the chest. Hands underneath the knees. We're going to rock and roll 3 times. Make sure your back is around it. So 1, 2. And the 3rd time, you plant the feet, bring your hands onto the mat. If this is hard, you can make your way one way or the other. Then you step into a plank pose or jump into a chaturanga for your last vinyasa. Downward facing dog again. Find your breath. With an inhale, you bring your right leg up. And with an exhale, you bring your right knee underneath your right wrist, your right foot underneath your left wrist. This time for real. With your left knee down, left toes are flat onto the mat. Look over your left shoulder to see if your left leg is in one line with the left hip. Look forward again. Inhale, lengthen. And with an exhale, you fold forward, bringing your forehead onto the mat, on your hands, on a block, maybe onto a cushion. If there's any pain in the knee, please come out and bring your knee more to the middle. If there's still pain, you can come into eye of the needle by laying onto your back, bringing your right ankle on your left upper thigh and bringing your left knee into the chest. Also, it's super nice hip opener. In pigeon pose, breathe. Stay here for a while, couple of breaths. Your next inhale, you walk your hands up, plant the palms, bring your left toes under and come into a downward facing dog again. Pedal your feet out, feel the difference between one side and the other. to stillness. And bring your left leg up. Exhale, left knee underneath your left wrist, left foot underneath your right wrist, right knee down, toes flat. Look over your right shoulder to check if your right leg is in line with your right hip. Look forward again. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold forward. Forehead, wherever it feels good. If there's any pain in the knee, please come out and try to bring your knee more to the middle. If there's still pain, you can come into eye of the needle on the other side by laying onto your back and bring your left ankle on the right upper thigh and bringing your knee into the chest. And in pigeon pose, please think of things you find important. If you cannot think of anything, trust that it will come. Next inhale, you bring your hands up, plant your hands, right toes under, and come to your last downward facing dog. Enjoy, do whatever you need to do. Ready, bend your knees, look to the front of the mat, and we're coming into a seated position again. So your way, maybe cross the ankles and come sit onto your sitting bones. Bring your left leg out in front of you, your left foot is flexed, right knee in, right knee to the side, into Janu Sukhasana. If you need a strap to reach your foot, please take it into your hand. And make sure you bring the strap underneath the ball of the foot, so underneath your toes, on that ridge. Okay, inhale, reach the arms up. Move towards your left leg. With an exhale, you fold over. With every inhale, you lengthen. And with every exhale, you fold a little bit deeper maybe. So really move on that breath. Focus on your breath. Your next inhale, you walk your hands up, bring your right knee up, right leg out, right left knee in, left knee to the side, right foot is flexed. If you need a strap, grab it. Then inhale, reach the arms up, lengthen the spine, bring your torso towards your right leg, exhale, fold over. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, deep. And relax over here. You don't have to go further if you don't want to, or if it doesn't feel good. Be happy with how far you already are. Your next inhale, walk your hands up. Bring your knee up. Come sit onto the front of the mat, knees bent. Reach the arms out, and with an exhale, while using your core, coming all the way down onto your back. So take this time to listen to yourself and find what you like to do right now. Maybe you like to massage your back, rolling, circling your lower back onto the mat. Maybe you like to bring your legs and your hands up and shake it out. Roll your wrists. Maybe you prefer to go into a happy baby. Whatever you like to do before Shavasana, our final resting pose. And if you're ready, and maybe if you get cold quickly, put something nice and warm on. Come lying onto your back, your legs straight. Your arms alongside the body with the palms facing up so that your shoulders can be more rounded. Your toes fall out to the sides. Feel your heels falling into the mat. The back of the legs heavy into the mat. Your hips drawing to the mat. Your shoulders heavy into the mat. Your arms relaxed. And the back of the head is also rounding into the mat. Your face is soft. Your jaw slightly apart. Eyes fall into their sockets. Let go of any controlled breathing or tension. This is the time for you where you can be on pause and you don't have to do anything. Stay here, I'll guide you out of it. Shavasana. Do some movements back into your body. The toes, the fingers, maybe roll the ankles, the wrists. Maybe you like to roll your head from one side to the other. Bring your hands overhead. Reach the arms out. And let go. Bring your knees into the chest. And roll over to the right side. Ready, come up. Come into a seated position, just like how you started this practice. Bring your hands in front of your heart and remember your own intention. I'd like to thank you. Namaste. So if you have any questions or feedback, I would love to know. Thank you.